Hey everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Awakened Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm Alison. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back to another interesting show for everyone. Very excited.
We're talking about the movie Absolutely Anything, and I've got the synopsis here.
It's very funny.
So the movie was released in 2015, and the synopsis is: aliens bestow a school teacher with the power to do absolutely anything, but only his talking dog seems to have any idea how to use it properly. The main actors, Simon Pegg, Kate Beckinsale, and Terry Jones are the main actors. Oh, Robin Williams is in there.
Oh, is he the dog?
Yeah, Robin Williams is Dennis the dog. And then also the aliens are John Cleese is
That's
the
right.
chief alien. Terry Gilliam is the nasty alien. And Sanjeev Bhaskar is Ray.
They're very funny looking aliens.
Yeah, that group that show that they're from.
Yeah, I know the show, but I can't think of
I
it.
can't think of the show either. Well, hopefully it'll come to us. So we watched this movie, was it last weekend?
Yeah, last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend.
And I've been busting to see this movie for a couple of weeks, and Alison's like, nah, maybe next week, baby. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be patient, because I just had a feeling it was going to be a cracker.
It was actually very funny.
Very, very funny
Yeah.
movie. And we thought this would be a really awesome thing to discuss because it is connected to manifestation.
It is.
And it's instant manifestation.
Yep.
Anything possible
Yep.
in a second.
That's true. However, it's not just like manifestation, like we spoke about, just people's thoughts being
No.
created and, creating anything. It was a particular kind of manifestation where the character had to actually think of something which is actually better compared to just thoughts rambling all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the gift he got was given to him from a beam of light entering from the spacecraft
Yes.
outside Earth.
Yeah.
And it was the beam down. They beamed it down into his right hand.
Yeah.
It was like a blue light.
Yeah.
And he had to speak about creating something. It's like, I won $1 million, for example.
Yeah.
And wave his right hand, and it would literally appear
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
But this took him quite a while to understand that he had this gift because he had no idea. And the thing was, these aliens would go around to different planets and species to test them to see if they would pick one person or one that represents the whole species, and they would give them the power to see if they would get corrupted by it.
Yeah.
And if they got corrupted by it, they were going to destroy the whole species, the whole planet.
Yeah.
So it was our turn to have a particular human being selected to see if we're going to be destroyed or not.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, that's a bit hard because when it comes to power with humanity, it's not great.
No. But the good thing about this is that the power didn't actually get to him.
No, he was quite humble. He was a
Yeah.
school teacher. He was English, which is
Yeah.
interesting. They made it about the English culture, like
Yeah.
the UK or United Kingdom, which I thought was interesting as well.
Because out of the whole movie, he could have changed his
Career?
his career, his occupation and things along those lines, but he didn't. He kept being a school teacher, but then changed things around him, which ended up having consequences.
It came to be duality
Yeah.
playing out, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh, yes. So it got us thinking a lot about duality as we're working on putting out their positive intentions and
Yeah.
what we'd like to manifest and seeing what the other side of the coin might be if you do happen to manifest something,
Yeah.
say, instantly.
Exactly. He did some really funny manifestations on himself that I think Jason needs to share with everyone, because I noted you were writing some of his funnier manifestations.
Yeah, one of the ones that he thought he would try was he said something on the lines of, I want the most beautiful body in the world.
That's right.
So they gave him, or the manifestation gave him this most stunning, perfect female body. And you could see breasts and everything. And he's like, that's not what I mean. So he had to start to learn to be really mindful and specific
Yeah.
about what he wanted to instantly create.
Because then after saying he wanted the most beautiful body, I think he said something along the lines of, I want the body of a brilliant man or a famous man or something along those lines.
Something like that.
And then he turned into Albert Einstein.
And he's like,
Of a great man or something.
yeah. And he's like, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean that. Another one was, he said he wanted a bigger, how can I put it?
Schlong?
He wanted a bigger schlong. male anatomy. And he didn't specifically ask for a particular size. He just said, I want a big schlong. So next thing you know, he asked for it. I know. He fell to the ground. So we got the opinion after seeing that it was about, I don't know, 3 foot long or something.
Because you could hear a thud on the floor.
Yes, and you could see him drop on the floor. And he's like, that's not how big I wanted it.
So then he asked for a size that would be impressive
To the ladies.
And then looked at it and said, I want it to be
White. Yeah. So you're going to have to, people who are listening to this and watching this, you're going to have to get this. You can get it watch it on YouTube videos. You should be able to get it on other platforms as well. Very, very, very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny. But why we loved it, not just for that, it was a great movie and everything, but for the lessons that we learnt from that.
Yeah.
About creating something and be mindful, careful of what to create and maybe the duality of that playing out.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And people just put wishes out there and, I want this and I want that.
But this movie really showed you that you have to be really specific and be more conscious of what you want to manifest instead of actually being manifesting from a subconscious level. You really need to, it's almost like you really need to train your brain to be able to hone in on what you want to manifest so you can be very specific. Otherwise, you might end up like this guy.
And also, I was getting simplicity also can be beneficial as well.
Yeah.
So, yes, being exact in what you want to create. If you had the ability to create something instantly, you really want to have a big think about, okay.
Because if you had the ability to create anything and you're like, I want a new car. You could get a new car, but it could be just any car. And it might even actually be an old car, but it's actually a new car for you.
Oh, that's true.
So you need to be really specific. I would like to manifest such and such car from this model from this year kind of thing.
Yeah, I would like a 2023 GT Porsche in my driveway.
That's true. You would have to say in your
real
driveway
car.
because,
real car.
Yeah. Also, like an actual physical real car, because it could be a toy car and it could end up in someone else's driveway.
Someone who comes along, knocks on the door. Mate, is this your car? I've got your car keys here.
Yeah, exactly. So it really showed that you have to be specific and very clear-minded with clear intention. Because then on the other flip side of the movie, he went to go try and help humanity out by saying that there's so much food for everyone.
That was China.
That there was no famine and there was abundance of food. All of a sudden, there on the news report, the Chinese were obese.
Obese.
That's it.
Yeah, 300 pounds.
Yeah. He tried to stop global warming.
Yeah, he's tried to stop global warming and turned the whole planet into an ice age.
Yeah. So it's an interesting concept of, even though you try to do good and you have really good intentions like he did for global warming and for helping people with famine and everything, you just don't know what the consequence is going to be on the flip side of that.
So I'm getting, at the moment, because I thought about this for like a week after watching this movie. So I really thought about it like a bit hard. And we would like everybody to be a lot more consciously awake. But what would be the duality of that happening? What would be the repercussions of that happening if every single person on the planet woke up and became conscious? Everybody talks about this. Everybody wants this. But what would be the other side of the coin of that?
And we also spoke about wanting to know the truth of everything. as well. Imagine saying having that intention where wanting everyone knows the truth of everything. Our intention is the truth of our game and our reality, but all of a sudden people could just be spouting out their truths that they've hidden, you know, from everyone else, that is their own personal, you know, secrets kind of thing. All of a sudden everyone's just spouting out their truths.
There was a movie that Jim Carrey did, and I don't know, it was called Lies or Not to Lie or something, but he couldn't lie for...
Oh, I thought that's not Yes Man. It was
No,
else.
24 hours, and he had to tell the truth for 24 hours, and he just got done.
But wasn't he a lawyer in that?
I think he might have been a lawyer.
Okay, so I guess it really depends on the occupation that you have, because I'm guessing that not all lawyers tell the truth.
Well, it's a money game. Everything's a money game here.
Yeah.
If you could see, like, a president or a prime minister, somebody manifested them to start talking what's really going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's exactly it. So really good movie to talk about this.
Yeah. And another thing he did was his good friend, who was another school teacher.
That's
I think he was a biology teacher or something. He said, I really want the other teacher over there, the female teacher, to fall in love with me.
No, his friend wanted the female teacher to worship him.
Oh, did he use the word worship, did he?
He said, I want her to worship me. And so...
She did.
Literally. He became a temple.
Yeah, she made a temple of him. He became a guru for her. She had like 20 students join the cult. And he's like, can you just change it back? I can't even go down the road without this group of people worshipping me. And
because he ended up being a guru, she wanted them to teach them how to resurrect from being dead. So they wanted to kill him so that he could come back alive, because now he's a god. Or because he wanted the female teacher to love him. If he said love, I want her to love me, that would have been a very different story.
Yeah, but he wanted to be worshipped.
Yeah.
So he got what he asked for.
Yeah.
He's like, yep, done. And that's what he did. He sort of went, $1 million. I would like $1 million. $1 million.
Because the power, the energy was in his hand.
Yeah,
so he had
his
to
right
move
hand.
his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the antics that this guy had created for himself. One of the really heartfelt ones was his dog.
Yes, Dennis.
Dennis, his dog. And then he just got Dennis to, Dennis, talk, or, make sense or something. And Dennis just started talking and just say, I just love you. I just love you. I just love you. Being a real dog.
I just love you.
Yeah, he just wanted to love, the main actor and everything in those lines. And in the end, it's true that the dog knew what to do with the power, because realistically, dogs are just all about love, and they just want to be in the energy of their human kind of thing. And because Dennis is a dog, he doesn't have the concept or the ego or the consciousness to get things confused.
Yeah, you've really jumped.
I have jumped, haven't I?
You've just jumped a canyon. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm really sorry.
That's it, towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
She's gone from 5 minutes into the movie to the end within... So he did have a love interest.
Yes, that's right.
And who was that actress again?
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, she plays a really good part. Did he, from memory, do anything to her to make...
No, that was the one thing that he didn't do, because in the movie, there was something wrong with the machine, with the alien, so he didn't have his power or gift or ability.
But he was still able to... He did say, I want to see what she's doing. So then all of a sudden he was like in his bed but looking down through the floor into her.
Yeah, but there was a moment in the movie where he didn't have his ability, and her and her friend were talking in her apartment, and they were talking about the main actor Simon Pegg, I think it is.
Mm.
They were talking about the main actor Simon Pegg, and he thought, I think he had this thought about her loving him or something along those lines, but he didn't actually have his ability.
So he couldn't do anything.
So he couldn't actually force her, but she actually liked him anyway. And it was a very coincidental moment where he didn't have his ability, but she rocked up at his apartment. Yes, she was intoxicated, but she rocked up at his apartment and they, spent the night together kind of thing. But there was actually no power or magic used on her for that. Yeah, that was the only time in the movie where his magic was broken, but it was a genuine feeling from her.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
him using his power to
Yeah.
make her fall in love with him. Yeah, so we won't go into all the hoo-ha with that relationship because you have to watch the movie but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good.
But the interesting thing that I want to go back on is that he didn't actually try to change his career like we said in the beginning.
Yeah, he must have loved being a teacher.
Yeah, even though the students they're painful and his boss is painful and all along those lines.
But he did use his power to fix that.
He did, but he didn't use his power to go, I want to be a famous person.
No. Oh, yes, he did.
Did he? The president.
Yes.
That's right.
He said, I want to be the president of the United States. And then all of a sudden, these two black vans pulled up or whatever.
Secret Service pulled up, pushed him in the van, pushed him in the car.
All this shooting started going on.
He's got guns firing at him because he's thinking, okay, well, if I'm president, then that's going to be really cool, but not expecting guns firing at him. And then all of a sudden his assistant brings out all these files.
Yeah, to all the countries that need to be looked at or spoken to. Or
So it's kind of showing that what he perceived to be a really awesome position, he got shown the other side of it, the flip coin of being, let's say, the president.
Yeah, and he didn't like that. That went pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Don't blame him. That game's a circus.
But if you think about it, besides the being shot at and all those things, all the files, the responsibility of having to look through all those files having the responsibility of having to understand what is going on in other parts of the world is a big responsibility for a person.
Yeah, and the alien agenda that they're trying to keep hush-hush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a very big responsibility. So not all high-end profile jobs are going to be the greatest.
No. Yeah, it gets you thinking a lot. Yeah, I really had to think a lot about this movie when it comes to creating things instantly.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about it because we spoke about the movie Chaos Walking, where things were created instantly from subconscious thinking, whereas this movie here, he couldn't, which is a great thing, he couldn't actually think of create things from his subconscious because if he did, there'd be probably chaos walking.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It all had to be from his conscious mind and he had to say it as well.
Yeah, to say it and then wave the hand for it to happen. Yeah, which is not as dangerous but still very dangerous.
Yeah, I think it's only dangerous because he actually tried to help humanity without understanding the consequences.
Yeah, but he could change things back though, so that was good.
Yeah, that was the good thing about it.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, everything back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he even raised the dead.
I just got that one.
It's like, that's not what I meant.
Because in the movie, he was so, because the class that he was substituting for or something along those lines, he didn't realize he had the power or the gift at that moment. So him and his friend are talking. He's like, for 10C to have aliens come down and shoot the room of 10C or something along those lines.
Oh, that's right. He wiped out all the students.
He wiped out all the students.
Yeah.
And then he realized he had the ability to do it. So then he's gone, for everyone that is dead to be alive again.
But everyone, dead or alive or whatever.
Dead. Everyone, like people from the grave coming out of the grave. And he's like, but that's not what I meant. Okay, everything back to normal and everyone from 10C to be alive. So he had to really be specific.
That's why I love this movie and that's why we have to talk about this, because if people out there come into this power, mayhem.
What we're wanting to share with everyone is when you're manifesting, be specific on what you're manifesting.
And even then, I mean, we've done both a lot of manifestation. I've done, before we got together, a lot of manifestation, and I got a lot of things I want to manifest, but there's still bloody loopholes in there. I didn't think of, it's like, I didn't even think that would play out. I didn't think that would play out. And I had like pages written down to the finest detail of, you can't believe, and I manifested, and it's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I didn't think of that was going to play out. So it's, the game here is tricky and cheeky.
For me, what I take away from, again, I'll repeat myself, what I take away from the movie is to just be really mindful and specific about what we want to create and work with our subconscious, because a lot of the time we create from our subconscious thinking and we don't actually create from our conscious thinking. And I feel like that can be a very fine line as well, because there are people that may not have the life that they feel like they want to have, and then we'll start to do a lot of subconscious wishing, you could say, manifestation. And if that's not, I feel like if that's not looked at, like our subconscious thinking, if that's not looked at properly, it could get us into all kinds of challenges like this guy did. But the great thing about he is that he was able to change it all back to normal. Whereas for us here in this reality, we can't actually change things back to normal if we make a mistake.
That's true.
Well, I retract that. Some things we can change back to normal, but there might be other things that we might not be able to change
back. And then
back.
that's the ripple effect after that.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings me to another movie, which is the Wonder Woman 1984 one.
Yes.
For some reason that has come up because in that movie, wishes were made, but there was a consequence
to every wish.
So, for example, in that movie, if you guys haven't seen Wonder Woman, it's actually a really fascinating movie when it comes to manifestation as well, and making wishes. In that, there's a section in the movie where everyone, there were people arguing in a cafe or something along those lines. And one person that was arguing with, I think it was a customer service lady or something along, the staff member, and pretty much wished for that person to fall or drop dead. And she did. Yeah. So that again for me, I take it back to, we got to be really mindful. Like you always tell me, be mindful of my thoughts. We've got to be mindful of our thoughts and be mindful of our subconscious thinking as well. And even in the heat of the moment, maybe try to not blurt things out as best as we can. And I think yesterday there was energy that wasn't asked to come in. And you got from that, well, I didn't ask for that. And then you got in your mind, no, but you thought it. So that's a loophole for us to come through. It's like, hang on a minute, you can't use that. It's like, oh, we can do whatever we want. Yeah.
So that's on the same side of the coin as what you're just talking about now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there is a revocation from someone that we know about thoughts. I think we've got a revocation about, revoking any thoughts that come because it's literally just thoughts.
You'd be doing that revocation every second.
But that's the thing, it's pretty much saying, well, you thought this. Is like, well, hold on. I think a lot of things.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts. Doesn't mean that because I had this one particular thought, you can think you can just come in and do whatever you want to do. I mean, we all have lots of thoughts. Lots of us have thoughts of being trillionaires, of having a boat, of being able to walk if they got a broken leg or something along those lines. We all have these thoughts. Doesn't give permission for these entities and beings to come in uninvited based on a thought.
Yeah, but they are.
Yeah, because it happened again before we started the podcast. I was sussing out the energy and probably because I was sussing out the energy, trying to, lay my ground rules of when we do a podcast, there was mischievous energy coming through.
Yeah. So when we do the podcast, we spray the room with our clearing spray, I asked for because we make clearing candles, and they're clearing like physical candles, but they're for clearing. And I just asked for them energetically, and I put them around the whole room, like 5 or 6 of them energetically around the room, just to keep the space as clear as we can. It's important.
Yeah. We really want to share with everyone, manifest. You know, it's great to manifest. Just be mindful with what you manifest. And watch the movie Absolutely Anything, because it's an interesting and funny movie, but it's interesting on what he wanted to try and help people with and the consequences that come with it.
Yeah, and I thought about that too, and I thought, if I had the gift like that, I think I'd be very, very careful, because you might be taking away somebody's journey or learning, or taking away from something special from that person or that collective that they need to experience or go through, and they'll never learn it. So it's not really beneficial in the long run. It's like, yes, you want to be helpful, but sometimes being helpful isn't going to work out with the big picture. And
I'm getting the Matrix movie with the French dude. He always spoke about cause and effect. And it's interesting. I heard Teal Swan also mention that the universe is based on cause and effect as well. So in that movie, it was pretty much cause and effect.
Yeah.
He created or he helped with something, and this was the result of that.
Yeah, somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, like when he said with the global warming, the effect was...
It turned into an ice age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the opposite, which you would never, ever think of.
And he was being sincere.
Yeah.
He was being,
You would never, ever think of it. You'd never think of... Well, the reverse of global warming would cause...
be ice age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot, cold.
Yeah. And was there something with the desert or not really?
It was the Middle East, wasn't it?
Something with the Middle East.
Yeah. All of a sudden, all the homeless or something went to the Middle East, and they had all these big buildings.
That's right. So there were no more homeless.
No.
And there were homes for everyone.
Yeah. All in the Middle East. In the desert.
No, I think what happened...
Sahara?
Yeah, what I think what happened was because the Sahara is like massive barren land, because there were no more homeless, the last bit of, I guess, open land, which would be considered the Sahara Desert, was all packed. So the planet didn't have any open spaces anymore. It was just jam-packed with housing for everyone.
Is there that many homeless people?
No, I don't know.
But in the movie, they made it to be grandeur.
They made it to be grandeur.
Yeah, it's a movie. You've got to make it grandeur.
All deserts, all maybe rainforests were all cleared, and there was housing for everyone, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
So the moral of the story that we want to share is just be mindful of what you want to manifest.
Yeah. Still
manifest, still create.
But just be mindful of what we've talked about. I think it's a really important one, and people really need to listen or watch this to get a different understanding on just be careful. Especially when you're in a state of not doing well.
Exactly.
So because we all have an understanding that, you need the mind and you need the feelings to come together. And so if you're in a really emotional state,
and
you really want to manifest something that's sort of coming from a desperational state, it may not work out that well.
Yeah. And I think
because you're not clear-headed.
Yeah, and I think that's perfect. You need to be clear-headed when you're manifesting, I feel.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Be in a neutral...
But still have the feeling of what you want to create. So, for example, you want to create driving an amazing car. So it's like kind of having that feeling, but you've got to be clear-headed when you want to manifest it.
Yeah. Put it out there, knowing what colour, and go through a bit more detail than not.
Yeah, not just new car and,
Yeah, exactly right.
Because I think we've gone through a lot of manifesting and realising for ourselves that we need to be clearer on what we are being specific about. Because if we didn't go through all the, I guess, manifesting loop or discovering all the manifesting loopholes, we probably wouldn't be so active in what we want to manifest.
Yeah, what you were saying about the movie, he could turn everything back.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's a bit harder here.
Yeah.
So if you manifest something, it's a bit harder to turn it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit hard.
I still like the car one where you know you want to manifest a new car, but it ends up being a second-hand car, but it's new for you.
Mm.
So things along those lines. That's the loophole.
Mm.
You manifested a new car, but it's new for you, but it could be a bomb.
Yeah, well, it's really, I'm going to do talk about a live, like something that I've thought of the other day, because we've been looking for a new car for Alison.
Yeah.
She loves her Mitzi, but it's sort of getting a bit long in the tooth.
I do love my Mitzi.
And I did put the intention out there. I didn't tell you this.
No. What have you done?
I just, the best car for Alison for the best price and the best this and the best that. But I wasn't specific because I really didn't know what car we wanted.
No, because we still need to test drive a few cars. Yeah.
But the best car for you might be, not what we think it is.
And the best car might be the Mitzi.
Yes. So I wasn't specific enough about that because it's like I had to have it more of a grounded knowing of what car you want to, what we want to get. Because cars are a lot more expensive and it's, everything that's going on. I really do believe that everybody needs a decent car because all the stuff playing out is just getting bloody ridiculous.
Yeah.
So a good new car, you're pretty much going to be okay with it going really well for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I just put out the intention for that and I'm thinking, after watching the movie, oops. But so far, we haven't had any shitbox come into the driveway yet. Or
well, because luckily, like we've spoken and you've said in the previous podcast, we don't have that ability for things to just drop in automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'd be really good at it, but I think we would make a couple of mistakes.
I think everyone would make mistakes, even if you are good at it. I reckon you would still make a mistake in the beginning, but because you've made so many mistakes, you would really quickly learn.
I think, you would learn and you'd be like, oh, hang on, I'm not going to manifest that right now. I'm going to really, 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 really think about this.
Yeah.
And see if I can cover all bases. And I don't think there's a guarantee that you can ever cover all bases.
Yeah. There might be a consequence on some level. We're not saying on all levels, but there might be an outcome that you just wouldn't even think of.
But that's right. That's what I've learned in the past.
Yeah.
Thought I covered everything by 4, 5, 6, 10 pages and I didn't cover some things and I was just like, I didn't even think of that.
So that's why I really feel like it's really important for everyone to understand that in order to manifest, yes, have the emotion or the feeling behind it, but really understand what it is that you want to manifest. And if you can, understand what your subconscious wants to manifest as well, because your subconscious and your conscious might be contradicting each other.
But that's personal development work. Not everybody wants to do that. They all want the quick fix, click the fingers, done.
No, I understand that, but if you are conflicting with yourself and wondering why you're not actually manifesting, it could be because you have no idea that your subconscious is wanting one thing and your consciousness is wanting another thing. So for me, and because our audience are people that will probably understand manifestation and conscious and subconscious, it's really important that you figure out what it is you want on a conscious level, what you want on a subconscious level, and see if you can try and meld the two together or have an understanding of what it is that you really want.
Yeah. I'm getting trauma as well. So you want to manifest things from because you've been hurt, or maybe even a payback, or trauma from childhood, or you want to be the most successful trillionaire person on the planet because that's what it takes to be considered to be a great person and a powerful person on this planet. And maybe you were picked on as a kid or something happened, you got that trauma and you didn't feel good enough. So you got this power. So then you're operating from the wounded part of yourselves.
And it's never enough.
And yes, and that seems to be a big format here. It's never enough.
Taking it back on from my own perspective, I said to you when last year or a couple of years ago, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to lose 10 kilos. I had lost 10 kilos already at that time, but I wanted to lose another 10 kilos. And I said to you, I finally realized that I was working from a space where I don't think it would have ever have been enough.
Yeah, that's right. I remember saying that, yeah.
I could have lost 20 kilos.
Mm.
And it would never have been enough for me because I was working like that. We listened to someone before. I was working from a wounding
Yes.
instead of understanding why do I want to lose the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's for health benefits.
Exactly.
Mainly. And
Yeah.
feeling better and lighter. And
Yeah. Whereas I was working from a perspective of childhood wounding because I was always the overweight child. I wasn't obese, but I was overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
For mainstream.
for mainstream, yeah. And I felt like I couldn't fit in because I was overweight.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was working from a wound. But now I understand that I can't work from that wound. I need to be able to understand what the pain, what the wound is, and change the perception of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll be able to manifest the weight loss because I'm not so focused on that anymore.
Yeah, because your wounding is accepted by society because
Yeah.
society perceives people who are like skinny is accepted in society, overweight is not so much.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel that if we can understand, like you said, the woundings and the trauma, we might be able to manifest a lot better.
Yeah, but that's personal development, working on thyself
Yeah.
before that can be healed so you don't manifest that. Yeah, and that's great for people who are doing this work, but you're looking at the whole planet.
But even if it comes down to shadow work, not everyone in the field that we're in
We'll do shadow work.
wants to look at shadow work.
No.
And shadow work is so important, like you've taught me, because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I realized the actual fun of actually doing it.
Yeah, it can be inspirational, and you do feel lighter and a lot more light
And
knowledge.
I love the aha moments in it.
Yeah,
It's like you just discovered something absolutely brand new about yourself that you didn't know but was there all along.
yeah. I can be a bit judgmental, my basic human self, and then I met somebody that was really judgmental, and having a really hard time of that, and I just went, yep, okay, I've just met me on a whole different level. And I said to you, I need to really look at this. I mean, I was reflected back the extreme of it, but still, it's like if we are all one per se, and we're all reflections and mirrors of each other, and that person down the road or next to you, whatever, that person is causing you a lot of strife and it's in your face, it's something you need to look at, because that possibility is reflecting back to you who you are or the quality that you have. So it's taken me a while to come to terms with that.
And maybe you were shown a version of the extreme level so that you can actually have an understanding of that too.
Yeah. And that's, I did no good, didn't like it.
But
And
you learned from it.
I did. I was like, that's not who I want to be. That's not who I am. I need to be more compassionate and more mindful. And everybody has a backstory. Everybody has trauma. Everybody has pain or experienced pain. And that's one of the reasons why people become a certain way. And they say they come in to the arena already set up for that because they need to play out whatever they need to play out to help people learn. But when it comes to what I'm talking about now, it was a very big understanding, and in a way I feel a bit blessed by being awakened by that and having more compassion, learning to have more compassion, not just for the other person but for me, and knowing where the trauma came from as well. So that's been good.
Yeah, because you got Buddha sitting next to you, and he was all about understanding the compassion of others. So bringing it back to the movie of manifestation, in the movie, humans we can't help our brains.
Well, we can, but it's a bit of training involved.
Okay. We're not all manifesting gurus.
Well, just as bloody well. Because we did another podcast, we talked about that dream I had about us being another planet that manifested stuff instantly, and you're manifesting all your fears. So we're getting, chased and stuff by all these monsters. And I think, I'm grateful that in that dream I was going, nah, stop it. So I was able to stop that. But if you had that gift here.
That's what I mean, because we're manifesting from a subconscious level.
Yeah, from your fears.
Yeah, exactly. And if people were able to do that, like in the movie Chaos Walking, it'd be run amok here.
Yeah. So we're talking a lot about manifestation. We've done this on quite a few podcasts now.
Yeah, we have.
And I've been editing the last podcast, which was March, and I think we are heading at the end of March now. All the big hoo-has meant to be playing out. I talked about earthquakes meant to be happening. Another one was, there's going to be a big mothership going to come across the planet and gold light and this and that. So if all this stuff's going to play out, I'm just not in judgment. I'm just allowing it just to be. But are we getting ready for a new level of manifestation, the collective?
But if we are...
Because we're talking about, there's been a lot of talk, and I feel like when we start talking about things start to play out.
There's a consequence for that happening.
Yes.
And the consequence is exactly what we just spoke about. If there's new energies coming through for a new level of manifestation, and not just for specific people, for everyone, it'll be like the movie Wonder Woman, where people will have an argument and say something that they don't mean. It'll be like in your dream where fears are manifested. It'll be like people living their subconscious lives instead of living their conscious life. So if that is what is playing, if that is meant to be, I don't really want to put any. If that's what's been happening, then that is an agenda, I feel, from something that is amping up the game.
Yeah. Well, most people really want money. You ask 9 out of 10 people, 10 out of 10 people, and 9 people out of 10 will say, I'd just like to have lots of money.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not so bad.
Well, is it?
Well, the consequence, who would know? We don't know.
Exactly.
If everybody had the...
We don't know the consequences, and you know what? Money is fun.
Well, it's a tool here. It's a barter tool here.
Exactly. And there's so much good that can be done from it.
Yeah. I want to do a little, see if anything could come through as well.
Oh, go for it.
Do you want to do the end of the movie first, and then we can do maybe that?
Okay, cool.
Because I had something in my head going, we can have a little conversation about that.
Oh, okay. Well, then do you want to do that first?
No.
Okay, so jumping to the end of the movie, Dennis the dog. Love dogs. Dogs are my people.
Don't give everything away.
No. So pretty much at the end of the movie, humans and animals, I'm just going to put it this way. Humans and animals are completely different because humans work from a conscious mind, and there's a lot going on in our minds, where animals work purely from instinctual and energy based. If they'll sense something, which is the energy. And at the end of the movie, Dennis had the best idea, and the main character, went with that idea, and everything just went back to normal and was happy family again. And he was able to continue on with his life. But it was more looking at that part of the ending. We don't want to give too much away because we don't want to give the whole story away. Looking at that ending, it's really interesting to see the difference of how complex humanity and humans can complicate their lives as opposed to animals just living their lives.
Yeah, and as we talked about a few moments ago, simplicity might be the way to go.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, keep it direct, be in a neutral state.
Yeah, because...
But at the same time, I said that, need to be detailed as well. So maybe it's a balance of both.
Yeah, and everyone wants grandeur because this game is based on
grandeur.
Only a certain % can be grandeur, and the rest have to, I don't know, keep on wishing and give their power away. Which don't do that.
People know that. I mean, there's anybody from my soul group, my inner wisdom, that would like to share some positive love, clarity, information about the movie Absolutely Anything, Instant Manifestation, I'd just be really interested to see what you've got to say about this one. Yes, hello. Another interesting topic that you and Alison have picked today, been listening to the funny antics of this movie, and what you have spoken about is true on so many levels. If humanity had the opportunity to manifest absolutely anything instantly, the planet would be in complete chaos. And this is not the journey for your species, for the planet at this time. Many galactic beings in arena see humanity, your race, as still children, and if you give a child a loaded gun, the outcome is not positive. So having the power of unlimited potential of manifesting instantly would be like giving humanity a gun each. And this is not great, as we chuckle here in the background. Mean no disrespect or dishonor, but humanity as a collective needs to grow and mature into that power. Saying that, you all have the power to manifest things instantly, but not at this time. Your species has a long way to go before it can step into that level of power here in your lives, realm, dimension. So we are all happy that this cannot happen, but certain individuals within your planet, your realm, what you call the game, are very, very close to manifesting things instantly, but they are very old masters who have decided to come back into this game, so to speak, to help make positive changes with humanity. But there are very few between, and they have worked and mastered themselves on many, many levels to be able to handle that level of power. But most of you are not ready for this yet. But as Jason said before, the level of manifestation, or the ease of manifestation, is getting easier. So this is a very, very, very good topic to talk about, to be more conscious of your thoughts, of your actions, of your words, because everyone, your words are so powerful. You do not realize the power of your words, not just your thoughts, but your words are just as powerful, if not more powerful. So be also mindful of your words and how you speak, and also speaking to yourself. Be kinder to yourself. Stop being so harsh on yourselves. Be more loving and unconditional for yourselves, to yourselves, to yourself. Keep yourselves grounded as well. This is important. Keep yourself centered and aligned as much as you can. But yes, we will tell you things will become more easier to manifest. And this is happening now. Things are shifting around you all and shifting within you. So be more diligent with your thoughts and your words. Sit back and have more of a think of what you would like to create. Is there any questions, Alison, that you would like to ask?
Yes, there is a question that I would like to ask.
Yes, we had that feeling.
I would like to know if all these factions and energies and beings think of humanity as children and needing to grow and expand our consciousness, then why are there other factions and beings squashing humanity, so therefore we don't grow, keeping us in a constant cycle of being perceived as children?
You're all being asked and pushed to go within more, to raise your vibration, to see things on different levels and perceptions of yourselves, knowing that you all can change this. But a lot of humanity, a lot of you have self-worth issues. A lot of you, on many levels, ask for this punishment. We call this punishment. And this is part of the learning of the soul as well. If you're not part of that vibration, don't have that vibration within you, you won't feel squashed, or will not be squashed, because you're outside of that frequency domain. And some of you still need that learning and have been looped for a very long time within that learning, and you could say at times are lost within that learning, and that's all they know. But a lot of you who have done this personal development work, the self-work, will start to, don't want to use the word separate, but take yourself out of that particular frequency and then move forward into a frequency that's more beneficial for you. But this is on an individual basis journey. This is not a collective journey. Is this helpful?
On a level, yeah. On another level, basically, we all need to go within, trust ourselves, and not rely on anything outside of us.
This is correct.
Cool.
And
that's the message for everyone.
Yeah, you still perceive yourself in many ways as children needing parents' approval. And this is when we go outside of ourselves. You go outside of yourselves. You don't feel like you are powerful within and still needing the parents' permission or help or support. You are that support and that power. And individually, some of you are starting to step more into that more than ever before. As we say to you, you are the polished diamond. You are the diamond. You are the diamond in the rough. It's your job to chip away the old dirt, the hard old rock. And within that, you are the sparkling diamond of perfection. But this takes time. This takes learning. But it's up to you how long it takes as well. Does this help?
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a short message for today, but we are appreciative for you to listen. And perhaps we, with our words, can inspire those of you who are ready to shift to the next level of self. And one of the keys to this is an open heart and a refined mind. Until we meet again, blessings to you all. Thank you. That was a bit deeper. Okay, so you want to just quickly finish up and close shop?
Very interesting information that came out. Thank you very much for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Any last words, Alison?
Nothing that I haven't said before.
Okay.
Pretty much everyone. My feeling is that we just need to work with our subconscious and conscious mind together and be really mindful.
Yeah. And my last words are great movie. Going watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's funny. Even though we've taken it down kind of like a serious path, it is funny.
Yeah.
We were cracking ourselves up.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah.
And it just got us processing things on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was good.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We hope you really got some gold nuggets out of what we were talking about before. Manifesting is an awesome tool to use as long as we can do it correctly.
Definitely. And thank you for those words of wisdom. We do appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
And take it how you want to take it.
Yep.
As we do.
Yep.
And you'll see us and hear us in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.